Hey everyone, it's time for the most played games on Steam Deck for September. If you like the stats that you see on the games for these videos, check out the SDG Companion App on the iOS and Android app stores. Diving in then, at number 20 is a re-entry for Brotato. A spaceship from Potato World crashes onto an alien planet, with the sole survivor, Brotato, the only potato capable of handling 6 weapons at a time, is waiting to be rescued. Runs at a perfect 60 frames per second on the LCD or 90 on the OLED, and you're going to get a good 5 to 8 hours battery on this one as it's running absolutely flawlessly. In at number 19, another re-entry of Monster Hunter World. Working well, but does take a bit of a hit in some of the sections. As a hunter, you'll take on quests to hunt monsters in a variety of habitats. Take down these monsters and retrieve materials that you can use to create stronger weapons and armor to take down even bigger monsters. A new entry at 18 of Core Keeper. It was only a matter of time before this hit our charts, and it's good to see it here. Awaken as an explorer in a long forgotten cavern teeming with untold secrets. In this mining sandbox adventure, your choices shape an epic journey. There's something a little bit odd with this one on the Steam Deck. You have to refresh the frame rate sometimes to get a fully unlocked 60, and for some reason the audio out doesn't work when plugged in via HDMI to an external source, no matter what you do. However, it works perfectly fine on the deck itself. At number 17, another re-entry of Dave the Diver. Explore and unravel the mysteries in the depths of the blue hole by day and run a successful exotic sushi restaurant by night. Running absolutely flawless on the Steam Deck at 60 frames per second on both the LCD and OLED, you'll get lost in the day-night cycle very quickly in this one. Just remember not to run out of oxygen. At number 16, up 4 places, is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Traverse a fantastical open world, explore forgotten ruins, caves and shipwrecks, trade with merchants and dwarven smiths in cities, and hunt across the plains, mountains and seas. Still takes a bit of a hit even on the Steam Deck OLED, and you're only going to get around 2 to 3 hours battery at best. Best to cap this one at 40 on the LCD and 45 on the OLED again, and check out our best settings guide for the full video. Up another place to number 15 is The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition. Battle ancient dragons like you've never seen, as Dragonborn learn their secrets and harness their power for yourself. So many mods for this one, and official mod support is also available on the Steam Deck, but that also may come at a bit of extra price, or you can just play through on vanilla and have an absolutely fantastic time on the OLED or LCD. Dropping 8 places to number 14 this month is Diablo IV. The endless battle between the high heavens and the burning hells rages on as chaos threatens to consume Sanctuary. I can see this bumping back up the charts next month with the new DLC that's coming, and it does run absolutely gloriously on the Steam Deck, with 60 frames per second pretty much solid outside of town, but around 30 to 40 in town, which is to be expected. Climbing back up another spot to number 13 is No Man's Sky, after yet another free content update. At the centre of the galaxy lies an irresistible pulse which draws you on a journey towards it to learn the true nature of the cosmos. Facing hostile creatures and fierce pirates, you'll know that death comes at a cost, and survival will be down to the choices you make. Still running great on the Steam Deck, even with the latest changes on the engine, getting a good 60 frames per second for the most part with our latest settings. Check out our best settings guide for the full video. Also up one spot to number 12 is Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. Kill bugs, upgrade your gear, and delve ever deeper into the lethal caves of Hoxes. Collect and assemble a devastating array of guns, unleash hell upon wave after wave of alien monsters, and fast frantic combat. There's also some mining elements where you have to grab your upgrades and push your way through the tunnels, but running at a good 60 plus frames per second, although it can't quite handle 90 on the OLED when the hordes close in. Also up one spot is Red Dead Redemption 2 at number 11. Arthur Morgan and the Vandalin gang are outlaws on the run. With federal agents and the best bounty hunters in the nation massing at their heels, the gang must rob, steal and fight their way across the rugged heartland of America in order to survive. Still one of the best looking games that you can run on the Steam Deck, and has no business looking and running this good, but you are likely going to want to cap this one at 30 to get the most out of it, although you can push 40 on the LCD and 45 on the OLED with a bit of tweaking. Down one spot to number 10 is Slay the Spire. Choose your cards wisely, discover hundreds of cards to add to your deck with each attempt at climbing the spire, which randomly generates every single run, and also with challenge runs as well. Running at a perfect 60 frames per second on the LCD or OLED and pulling less than 7 watts, you can see why it's one of the most played, as you're going to be able to get a good 5 to 10 hours battery, no matter which deck you're playing on. Also down one spot to number 9 is Grand Theft Auto 5. Surprising that this has remained so high considering online is now broken, but hopefully that will get fixed soon, so it just goes to show that probably most people are still playing story mode. When a young street hustler, a retired bank robber and a terrifying psychopath find themselves entangled with some of the most frightening and deranged elements of the criminal underworld, the US government and the entertainment industry, they must pull off a series of dangerous heists to survive in a ruthless city where you can't trust anybody. Down one spot to number 8 is Vampire Survivors, also running perfectly on the Steam Deck at a solid 90 frames per second now on the Steam Deck OLED or 60 on the LCD, and still only drawing around 7.5 to 8 watts, meaning a good 6 to 7 hours battery life at best. A time survival game with minimalistic gameplay and roguelike elements. All you can do is try to survive. Up 4 spots to number 7 is Cyberpunk 2077, an open world action RPG in the megatropolis of Night City, where you play as a cyberpunk mercenary wrapped up in a do or die fight for survival. With the latest patches, this is still running great on the Steam Deck outside of the DLC in Dogtown, pushing 40 to 50 frames per second and looking crystal clear, but it's still a bit of a fight in Dogtown where you will drop to 30 and below fairly regularly. Up a massive 13 places to number 6 is Hogwarts Legacy, an open world action RPG set in the world first introduced in the Harry Potter books. Embark on a journey through familiar and new locations as you explore and discover magical beasts, customize your character, craft potions, master spellcrafting and upgrade talents to become the wizard you want to be. With the latest updates with FSR 3 as well, you can get a good 30 to 40 frames per second very happily, with it looking absolutely gorgeous, but it does still dip around Hogwarts and also in town. Holding firm at number 5, Balatro Just Won't Budge, a poker roguelite where you combine valid poker hands with unique joker cards in order to create varied synergies and builds. Earn enough chips to beat the devious blinds, all while uncovering hidden bonus hands and decks as you progress. Pulling just over 8 watts, you're going to get a good 5 to 10 hours battery life depending on the deck, and you could easily cap this at 30 frames per second and 5 watts to really push that as well, as it's a very simple to run game. Down 2 spots but holding in the top 5 is Elden Ring. Rise tarnished and be guided by grace to brandish the power of the Elden Ring and become an Elden Lord in a vast world where open fields and vast interconnected dungeons are all seamlessly connected. Still running at a fantastic 30 to 40 frames per second with our recommended settings, you're going to have an absolutely great time on this one if you can survive. Back up into the top 3, jumping 1 spot, is Stardew Valley. You've inherited your grandfather's old farm plot. With hand-me-down tools and a few coins, you set out to begin your new life. Can you learn to live off the land and turn these overgrown fields into a thriving home? Most people have jumped back into Stardew Valley with its DLC, and it's still racking in the hours. With only around 6 watts of usage, you're going to get a good 5 to 10 hours battery on this one, and if you cap the wattage, you're going to get even longer. Surprisingly, Baldur's Gate is still sticking in the top 3 and actually jumping up 1 spot to number 2. Abducted, infected, lost, you are turning into a monster. But as the corruption inside you grows, so does your power. That power may help you to survive, but you will pay a price. And more than any ability, your relationships with your party may change the fate of the world. Although it runs great in Act 1 and 2, in Act 3 it really can be a bitter pill to swallow, pushing only around 20 to 30 frames per second, but people are still pushing through. Sticking in the number 1 spot though for its second month is Black Myth Wukong. Enter a fascinating realm filled with the wonders of discoveries of ancient Chinese mythology. As the Destined One, you shall traverse an array of breathtaking and distinctive landscapes from the classic tale, composing of an epic adventure that is seen anew. Although it struggles for 30 frames per second in some areas, it is more than playable on the Steam Deck and extremely enjoyable as well. You can see why it is still pushing a daily concurrent of between 100 and 400,000 players. Let us know in the comments below if you've been playing any of these games or what's been your most played game on the Steam Deck in the comments below. Don't forget to check out the SDG Companion App if you want all of those stats in your pocket, as well as being able to see all the latest trending games. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.